on. Capp's here with us. So I've been talking to the guys the last couple of days about having you on, and the main reason is I want you to talk to us a little bit about Kean University and the men's volleyball program, and kind of like a bunch of guys made a decision this year, and I actually just shouted you out earlier, and I was like, dude, this seems like the best decision of all time now that the coronavirus happened.
The reason that we started thinking about it was that one of our guys got cancer over the summer. He got diagnosed in May, right as the first week of summer classes were starting, and he lives with me and the one of the other seniors. The guy that got cancer was not involved in the decision at all. We didn't even tell him until after we made the decision to that we weren't going to play. So we found out that he had cancer. We talked together amongst us seniors, because he obviously wasn't going to play. So it was the other three of us, our AD, Charlie, the head coach, assistant coaches, and in September when we got back to campus, that's when we officially were we're not going to play. We'll play in the fall because it doesn't count towards eligibility. So we wanted to stay active and play with the guys and just get a feel for what the program was going to be with and without us. And then once the season started in January, we were completely hands off. We didn't do anything. We went and supported the guys, but we've been pretty hands off with the decision. We haven't touched ball. We haven't played with the guys since then. We played outdoors once the entire spring, while they were playing, and that was because they had 2 weeks off, after when spring break was starting.
A super commendable response to a situation that nobody ever wants to be in. When I first heard about it, I actually talked to you a little bit about it. I thought it was fucking amazing. We hear about stuff like this, and I said to myself, I was like, what an unselfish situation, especially because how expensive college is to go another extra year. What I want everybody to understand is the risk factor here is, okay, we take a year off, great, we sit around, do nothing, but we're going to play outdoor volleyball. The risk of injury, the risk of not being able to play is all there, and we're taking that risk because we love our buddy and we're going to play with him. And I mean, to be honest with you, it's a situation that I hope going forward really, really works out for you guys. Actually, I know that it's going to. So I'm really proud of you guys making that decision. It's hard for young people to make such a bold decision, especially because you guys want to play. I did sit out a season when I was in college, and it was the hardest thing that I ever had to do. But so that's really, really awesome. You have a similar route to Ryan. Just tell us kind of where you came from playing volleyball, Ian, and then basically what positions you've played, and I mean what your goal is for next season for Kean University, and what you think you could achieve from this decision.
I started playing when I was 8 years old. My first time playing for a club team. I played for a team back in PA, and I fluctuated between 3 or 4 teams my first 4 or 5 years. But every single year, the same position. I was a libero because I was so small. I was 5'4" when I got into high school, and I didn't shoot up until my senior season. I was 5'7" going into my senior season. I grew to 6 foot by the time season started.
That's what was supposed to happen with me.
Yeah.
That's what was supposed to happen. It just never happened.
It's gonna happen, Jay.
Yeah, it's gonna happen still. We'll just wait.
I was a libero until my 17th year, and then I kind of was forced into setting because we didn't have a setter for the team for Yorktown. So the head coach was like, "Yeah, you have to set. We don't have anyone else that has hands that are good enough." So that's basically when I started setting. And then 17th year, Charlie was the only coach that really offered me a position, and he offered me a position as a libero. So I didn't really start setting legitimately until college. And that's my route. I mean, obviously I was libero up until my 17th year. 18th year was my first year of hitting of any kind of sort. But I was a setter / right side / lib. So I did everything.
I can relate. When I started playing in high school, where I grew up in high school in Cinnaminson, New Jersey, we were okay, but it was just kind of if you can stay on the court and not die, fine. We started to get good, and I was an outside attacker until 18 years old. And then when I went to college, I had to make a decision on my own to change positions. So, yeah, I guess it's very similar in the sense that I didn't start setting until I was around 18, 19 years old, and out of necessity, not even because that's what I chose to do. But when I started doing it, I loved it right away. Did you find yourself latching onto the position right away?
So no. I still had a love for playing lib and everything. I really didn't enjoy setting until probably my sophomore year of college because that's like we were so good. Where I really found a love for like just being a setter. In reality, I always wanted to be an attacker, right side, outside, even middle. Once sophomore season started, and that's when I actually kind of learned that I was actually like good at setting. So I never thought I was that good until my sophomore year. So that's when I really like thought like, hey, I kind of like this gig.
Well, Ian, what was your the last season you played? So not this one, obviously last year, 2019. Yeah. What accolades did you receive? Just remind us.
So I was an All-American. I had the second best hitting percentage out of a right side.
One of the things I wanted to talk to you about was we were actually on the call earlier with a couple people talking about the NBA, and you and I have chatted about it a little bit here and there. What do you think about, playing at a professional level, staying home domestically or going overseas? And then how about playing for, the NBA teams that are kind of like more close to home? Or do you think like guys should just play for any NBA team and it doesn't really matter?
I don't really think that it's a bad thing recruiting players from like different areas to play. Like say like Iceman wants me to play for them. Like I wouldn't be opposed to playing out there and just trying to make it out, living out there and doing stuff out there. Sure. I have been asked to play in England, and so has a couple other buddies from Kean, and I know Bez has played over there and a couple other guys. In all regards, I mean, I think anyone can play for anyone in the NBA. Where, like, obviously, if you play for a homegrown team like Team Freedom, where almost everyone is from that area, you kind of have that chemistry built up. It really is up to the teams whether or not you want to bring people in or not.
If I talked to Josh Brenneman, he would probably say we could make a Yorktown alumni team and we'd be the best team in the NBA. That's what he would tell me, because there was some really, really good talent coming out of Pennsylvania. With high caliber players like yourself graduating soon and making these decisions, and the NBA being a thing and the DLA being a thing, I think it's a really, really exciting time for you guys to be in the volleyball world, because when I was in college, a lot of these things didn't exist. When we graduated, we didn't know what to do. It was like, all right, we can play grass, we can play beach, but that never really satisfied the indoor, hunger. So it's a really cool time for you guys to be in the volleyball world, and I think at this point that you have a lot of opportunity to take advantage of that. We were actually scrolling through your Facebook earlier. You wrote that post about name the first thing that you remember about me, and we read some of yours just because you popped up on the newsfeed quickly. So talk to us a little bit about that experiment, and if you regret doing that challenge or you're kind of okay with it.
I mean, I don't regret it at all, because there's a lot of funny responses. The one that, like, obviously the one, but like 20 people said it, was my serve. And obviously, like, I've kind of made that my staple as a player, indoor and outdoor, where I try to just, like, I go for ace or case every time. And obviously it's paid off pretty well for both indoor and outdoor.
Good. Sure.
Winning the semester last year was probably the highlight of my career, other than making SportsCenter top 10. For me, serving, that's what makes me special, just because I've been able to make a 6-foot kid with a mediocre vertical be able to serve so well. I haven't had that athletic build like Landon Shorts or anyone that has like a 40-inch vertical to be able to hit the ball down on a serve. I have to hit up and over the net.
I'm 6'4", so I've never had that issue. I've always been able to, hit the serves with downward trajectory. So I don't know where you're coming from. But
I think those numbers are reversed
there. yeah, probably. Ian, before we let you go, I'm going to put you on the spot here. I'm going to ask you 3 trivia questions, and you got to answer them as quick as possible. The first one is, when you think of the movie Space Jam, what song do you think about?
E.T. Katy Perry.
What?
Bro, I never watched Space Jam. Real shit. I've never watched Space Jam. I'm so upset that I haven't watched it.
That was a flat guess?
All right, yeah. That's good. I mean,
never watched
at
it.
least you guessed. Some people just go, I never seen it, and they don't say anything. All right.
I appreciate the confidence in that response.
The question is, what song do you think of when you say Space Jam?
Yeah, so he's not wrong.
If he thinks that, that's what it is.
The second trivia question is a hot dog a sandwich?
Yes, because it's
okay. Elaborate.
Just like a hoagie. You got 2 buns on either side, so technically it's a sandwich.
That's fair.
I love this.
Good answer.
Question 3, come
on a 1 to 10 scale, 10 being the most likely, what are the chances that you play for Team Freedom in the future?
7.
Yay!
Good answer. Good answer.
Good answer.
Carlo.
Wait, where's the other 3? Why is it not a 10?
Man's got options. Relax. You got options.
Hey,
Hey,
Ian,
Ian,
I really
Ian.
appreciate you coming on, man. I'm going to be watching closely next year, especially because I have to coach against you, which sucks. But I'm glad that you talked to us about how good your serve was, because now we're just going to do a 5-man serve receive and leave the center at the net.
Before you go, Ian, I just want to let you know, like, what you guys, the seniors did this year. When I first heard it, I was like, man, like, if there was anything that proves the brotherhood of sports, that's exactly the perfect example. I love that you guys did that, but I absolutely hate that I have to play you next season.
Thank you so much for hanging out with us.
Kudos to you, man. Yeah,
So,
it's good to talk to you.
Yeah.